Tonight, breaking news as we come on the air. Vice President Kamala Harris in front of the country just moments from now. The biggest speech of her life. We'll carry it live in prime time here on ABC. There was also breaking news tonight involving an alleged threat targeting Donald Trump, what just happened. Also a deadly shooting at a high school. And the new statement making news tonight from Taylor Swift. First tonight, Vice President Kamala Harris preparing to deliver the most important speech of her political career. The former prosecutor presenting the closing argument here on the final night of the convention, introducing herself to America here in Chicago. It comes 24 hours after running mate Tim Walz shared his personal story with the nation. He and his wife once struggling to start their own family. And the moment seen by millions, his son Gus on his feet, wiping away tears, saying, "That's my dad." And what our Mary Bruce has just learned about Kamala Harris's speech coming up tonight. Also tonight, that breaking news, an arrest. Sources telling ABC News a suspect wanted in connection with a new threat on Donald Trump. Tonight, the former president on the campaign trail on the southern border and what he said about getting intelligence briefings as the Republican nominee. He says he doesn't need them. The deadly shooting at a high school, a school officer opening fire on the suspect. Tonight, the grim discovery on the ocean floor off Sicily, the sinking of that 180-foot boat. 2 Americans now among the bodies recovered and what they found today. The war in Ukraine, and tonight, Ukraine targeting a ferry loaded with fuel, the explosion. And tonight, inside Russia, where they once thought they would take Kyiv in just a matter of days, the Russians are now bringing in concrete bunkers to protect themselves from this Ukrainian offensive. Here in the U.S. tonight, the record heat across several states, temperatures well into the triple digits. And how much longer will the moderate temperatures continue in the Northeast? Meteorologist Cecily Tynan has the forecast. For the first time, Taylor Swift now breaking her silence after that alleged terror plot, explaining why she waited until now to address it. Those popular weight loss drugs, and there's news tonight about Wegovy, used for diabetes and weight. And America Strong tonight, the doctor flying his small plane across America to save the puppies. You have to see the images. It is just what the doctor ordered.
From ABC News, this is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir, reporting tonight from Chicago.
Good evening again tonight from Chicago, the final night of the Democratic National Convention, and it will be an historic one. Vice President Kamala Harris, the first black woman and Asian American set to accept a major party's nomination for president, in the biggest political speech of her life, reintroducing herself to the nation, making the case for herself, why she believes she is most fit to serve in this moment in America. The former prosecutor making her case, she will share her story and her record, expected to lean in on her optimism and joyful view of the future in this country. Tonight, what we are just learning about how she spent her day and how she's preparing right now for tonight. It was just 24 hours ago, her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, delivering his own personal address. In part of that address, he talked about family, his wife and their struggle for some time to start a family, his emotional family looking on, his son Gus on his feet, wiping away tears, saying, "That's my dad." And the evening's surprise guest, Oprah Winfrey, saying she was speaking as a registered independent, appealing to other independents, swing voters, moderates, telling the millions watching that in this election, quote, values and character matter the most. But tonight, the eyes of the nation on the vice president. Kamala Harris's address will be the closing act of this convention. Just 75 days left to the election, where it is very close in the battlegrounds. ABC's chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, leading us off. She's right here in the convention hall again tonight.
Tonight, the moment Kamala Harris has been preparing for her entire political life. Harris, in the span of just 1 month, catapulted from loyal vice president to the top of the ticket. Tonight, she will step out on the convention stage as the first black woman and Asian American to accept the nomination of a major party, reintroducing herself to America on her own terms.
Governor Tim Walz.
It comes 24 hours after her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, shared his own deeply personal story with the nation, his family emotional looking on.
If you've never experienced the hell that is infertility, I guarantee you know somebody who has. It took Gwen and I years, but we had access to fertility treatments. And when our daughter was born, we named her Hope. Hope, Gus, and Gwen, you are my entire world, and I love you.
17-year-old Gus Walz proud of his father, the moment moving millions. The Walzes have talked openly about their son's learning disability. calling him brilliant. The governor, a former high school social studies teacher and football coach, with a pep talk for the party.
It's the fourth quarter. We're down a field goal, but we're on offense and we've got the ball. We're driving down the field. And boy, do we have the right team. Kamala Harris is tough. Kamala Harris is experienced, and Kamala Harris is ready. And as the next president of the United States always says, when we fight, when we fight, when we fight, thank you.
Walz's former team, the Mankato West Scarlets, surprising him on the convention stage. And afterwards, this reunion.
Hey! Thank you all so much. Really appreciate you guys making the time to come here. This can be a good thing. For sure, we can do our politics right.
Earlier, a pep talk of a different kind. The night's surprise guest, Oprah Winfrey, taking note of Donald Trump's message to his supporters that they'd only have to vote one more time.
You're looking at a registered independent who's proud to vote again and again and again because I'm an American and that's what Americans do.
Oprah with this plea.
Let us choose common sense over nonsense.
Urging Americans to vote their values.
So I'm calling on all you independents and all you undecideds. You know this is true. You know I'm telling you the truth, that values and character matter most of all.
And so let's bring in Mary Bruce inside the convention hall again tonight. And Mary, you're learning the vice president is still putting the finishing touches on her big speech tonight?
David, I'm told that Kamala Harris spent the day reviewing and tweaking these remarks by hand and that this is deeply personal for her. She is going to share her American story as the daughter of immigrants. She will talk about her days as a prosecutor as she now prepares to prosecute the case against Donald Trump. And she will outline her vision of hope and optimism for the future based on what's being described as a deep sense of patriotism. David.
ABC's Mary Bruce leading us off here tonight in the hall. Mary will be with me just a short time from now. Thank you, Mary. The entire Powerhouse political team will be right here for the final night of the Democratic National Convention. We'll be back on the air in prime time beginning at 9 p.m. Eastern right here on ABC. Of course, Kamala Harris's acceptance speech. Our coverage begins 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you then. In the meantime, we turn to that breaking development. An arrest in Arizona tonight. Sources telling ABC News a suspect has been taken into custody in connection with a new threat on Donald Trump. Here's our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas, now.
Tonight, as Donald Trump holds a campaign event in Arizona at the U.S.-Mexico border, law enforcement taking this man into custody, who they say posted a threat on social media to kill the former president. Reporters today asking Trump about the threat.
Somebody made death threats to you. Did you hear about that before coming? No. And what are your thoughts coming down here? Some people told me it's dangerous for you to be here.
I've heard it's dangerous, but I also have a job to do.
It comes only weeks after an assassination plot nearly took Trump's life at a Pennsylvania rally. New video released just days ago showing Thomas Matthew Crooks walking around the rally grounds nearly 2 hours before the shooting. The Cochise County Sheriff taking no chances as he sought 66-year-old Ronald Lee Severoid, who was wanted on multiple outstanding warrants, including DUI, hit and run, and failing to register as a sex offender. Sources telling ABC News the Secret Service is aware and monitoring the situation. All this as the agency recently added additional agents to Trump's detail, and yesterday Trump held his first outdoor rally, speaking from behind a bulletproof barrier. David, with a dramatic surge in threats of political violence, law enforcement is on a hair trigger. There's concern as I've seen them in quite some time, and David, that's why you're seeing such extraordinary security here tonight at the DNC. David.
Pierre Thomas, also here in Chicago tonight. Pierre, thank you. Meantime, former President Trump campaigning on the southern border, as you saw Pierre point out, and what Trump said today about getting intelligence briefings as the Republican nominee, which is routine. He says he doesn't need them. Here's Rachel Scott.
Tonight at the Arizona border, Donald Trump focusing on immigration, a key issue for him through all three of his presidential campaigns.
With your vote, we will seal the border, stop the invasion, and launch the largest deportation effort in American history.
It comes after former President Barack Obama reminded the nation that Trump sunk the tough bipartisan border security bill in Congress.
He killed a bipartisan immigration deal written in part by one of the most conservative Republicans in Congress that would have helped secure our southern border, because he thought trying to actually solve the problem would hurt his campaign.
Also today, a rare acknowledgement from Trump. For years, he has falsely insisted he won the 2020 election. But today, while discussing a chart on immigration, he seemed to admit he actually did not win.
This was the last week in office for me because of a horrible, horrible election where I got many millions more votes than I got the first time, but didn't quite make it, just a little bit short.
Trump did get more votes in 2020 than when he first ran in 2016, but Joe Biden got 7 million more. Now that Trump is officially the Republican nominee, he should be able to receive classified intelligence briefings. But in an interview with the Daily Mail, Trump now says he doesn't want them.
Well, I could if I wanted them, but I don't want them because, number one, I know what's happening. It's very easy to see what's happening.
Those briefings are intended to help presidential nominees prepare for national security challenges if they are elected. Trump says he's worried that information could be leaked.
They come in, they give you a briefing, and then 2 days later they leak it, and then they say you leaked it. So the only way to solve that problem is not to take it. I don't want it.
Understood.
I'll have plenty of them when I get in.
So let's bring in Rachel Scott, also live here in the convention hall tonight. Rachel, I'm curious, what are you learning from your sources tonight? Does Donald Trump plan to watch Kamala Harris's speech this evening? And what does the campaign make of the Democratic convention so far?
David, I'm told that Donald Trump does, in fact, plan to tune in tonight and watch Vice President Kamala Harris deliver this address right here at the Democratic National Convention. The former president has been clearly irritated that Harris has stepped into the spotlight and that Democrats have rolled out so many big celebrities at this convention, saying it's all turned into one big party. His advisors are hoping that the slight edge that Harris is seeing in the polls is all a honeymoon period, David.
All right, Rachel Scott on the convention floor tonight as well. Rachel, I'll see you in prime time, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here. In the meantime, we turn to the other news tonight and to the grim recovery on the ocean floor off Sicily, the sinking of that 180-foot boat. 2 Americans now among the bodies recovered and what they found today. Here's our foreign correspondent, James Longman.
Dive teams in Sicily today bringing to shore the body of Mike Lynch, the British tech tycoon and owner of the doomed luxury yacht. But teams are still searching for the body of Lynch's 18-year-old daughter, Hannah, who's believed to be the last missing passenger. Authorities say 7 people went down with the ship in that violent storm, including New York lawyer Chris Morvillo and his wife, Neda. Today, the owner of the company that built the superyacht has blamed the disaster on a string of human errors, accusing the crew of not getting ready for the approaching storm.
Non abbia letto la perturbazione in arrivo.
Italian media report the boat's captain, who survived, said he didn't know the storm was coming. Lynch was on board, celebrating a legal victory, his acquittal on all charges in a fraud trial. Morvillo recently talked about how he spent years on the case.
It's covered 1/3 of my career. It has been a constant presence in my life.
In a now haunting LinkedIn post, Morvillo thanked his wife and daughters for their patience, signing off, and they all lived happily ever after.
And David, Italian media is reporting tonight that 5 of the victims were not found in their own cabins, which suggests they may have been trying to escape the sinking ship when they were trapped by the water. David?
James Longman with us again tonight. James, thank you. Now to the war in Ukraine and inside Russia tonight, where they once thought they would take Kyiv in just a matter of days. The Russians are now bringing in concrete bunkers to protect themselves from this Ukrainian offensive on Russian soil. Ian Pannell from Ukraine.
Tonight, a blazing inferno in Russia as Ukraine attacks a huge ferry. Tankers of fuel struck, multiple explosions reported, and the ferry sinking. Another fuel depot fire raging for a 5th straight day, hit by drones, smoke billowing into the sky. And it's not just fuel storage, but military airfields being hit. Video verified by ABC News showing an airfield on fire, hundreds of miles from the Ukrainian border. Now, Russia building concrete shelters in Kursk to protect civilians amid Ukraine's shock offensive. Today, Zelensky visiting the border area for the first time since this incursion began. But despite Ukraine's successes inside Russia, things are going badly on the battlefield in Ukraine's eastern Donbass region. ABC News spoke to 2 military sources who say not only is Russia still advancing, but that Ukraine is low on troops, ammunition and equipment. We met a war-weary soldier close to the border where Ukraine is advancing into Russia. He's been fighting for Ukraine for more than 2 years. He says 90% of the men he signed up with are now either dead, wounded, or have left. It's very hard, he says, very hard. But none of us are going anywhere.
David, the Pentagon's saying if Ukraine's planning a buffer zone inside Russia, then it needs to start digging defensive lines inside Kursk, concerned that Russian reinforcements are already on the way. David?
Ian Panel in Kyiv. Ian, thank you. Meantime, back here in the U.S., record heat across several states continues. Chief Meteorologist Cecily Tynan from our Philadelphia station, WPVI, back with us tonight. Good evening, Cecily.
Good evening, David. You know, the extreme heat in the South is especially dangerous because it's lasting so long. Excessive heat warnings remain in effect for Texas. Tomorrow's another scorcher, more record heat, and with the humidity feeling as hot as 115. Now, here in the Northeast, our early taste of fall, that will be ending this weekend. Temperatures heading back up through the 80s. Watching the tropics, Atlantic, very quiet due to wind shear and dry air, but that is not the case in the Pacific. 3 systems to watch, all eyes on newly formed tropical storm Hone east of Hawaii. Now, the latest track brings that storm south of the Big Island on Sunday with gusty winds and heavy rain, something we'll definitely be watching very closely. David?
Cecily Tynan back with us. Cecily, always good to have you. When we come back here tonight, the deadly shooting at a high school, a school officer opening fire on the suspect. Also, news on Taylor Swift tonight and this new statement from her. And the doctor saving the puppies tonight. And you'll see it right here. Tonight, a deadly police shooting at a high school in El Paso, Texas. A school officer responding to reports of an incident on school grounds. The officer shot and killed a man in his 50s. It happened just before classes started. No students were hurt. When we come back tonight, news tonight about that new popular weight loss drug and Taylor Swift breaking her silence tonight. To the index of other news, a new study shows an added potential benefit of the weight loss drug Wegovy. Researchers say the drug also reduces the risk of heart attack, stroke, or cardiac death by up to 44%, the study in the New England Journal of Medicine. Taylor Swift tonight breaking her silence about the foiled terror plot in Vienna. She says canceling the Vienna shows left her with a tremendous amount of guilt. She remained silent because she didn't want to risk provoking another possible threat. She says, quote, "My priority was finishing our European tour safely, and it is with great relief that I can say we did that." When we come back tonight, the plane full of rescued puppies and the doctor in the cockpit. Finally tonight here, the plane full of rescued puppies. And it turns out flying that plane, a doctor on a much different kind of mission. Tonight in Buffalo, New York, the incredible rescue effort. You're looking at the puppies being saved from across this country, right there in their crates in the back of a small airplane, being flown to their new forever homes. The pilot is a volunteer, Dr. Brian Rambaran, a urologist in the Buffalo area. And for more than a decade now, Dr. Rambaran has been flying across the country, picking up the puppies in kill shelters, saving them, and flying them back to Buffalo to find forever homes. Landing his plane, volunteers running up to the plane, the doctor opening the hatch, the puppies right there. Carefully handing off each one of them to the grateful team. That's Pluto. Puppy after puppy, they keep coming. 11 puppies rescued on this flight alone. Dr. Rambaran telling us why he does it.
The biggest thing was just seeing the people come out and the big hearts that they have and the positivity and the comments that came through. That was really touching to me.
And joining us too,
hey David,
Brandon Wolf from Nickel City Canine Rescue, helping to unload the plane and grateful to the community for answering the call.
We have had people reach out how to volunteer, how to foster, how to adopt, how they can generally support us.
Hi, David.
And Samantha Hall, also from the rescue, who wanted us to meet Rambo.
I am here tonight with one of our adoptable dogs, Rambo. Be a voice for these animals. They don't have anybody at the end of the day.
We just love this doctor and his team and those puppies. We'll see you at 9 p.m. Eastern. Vice President Kamala Harris in the most important speech of her political career, making her case to the nation. We'll see you at 9 p.m. Until then, good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.